Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rob Built. I'm your host, Rob.
All right, that's pretty good.
Why? Why are you having me do this?
All right, we'll cut to the animatic here. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rob Built. We are in my studio. I mean, it's not done yet, but as you can see, I've got a single lonely painting over here. So I'm a full-time YouTuber now, which is really crazy to say because this video is actually coming out on the very last day of my advertising career. That's right, I'm not just quitting my full-time job, but I'm also quitting my career to become a full-time YouTuber / tiny house builder / tiny house consultant / OnlyFans foot model / short-term rental entrepreneur. So today I want to talk about why I'm making this decision and talk about why I'm leaving my 6-figure income and how I plan to 2x, maybe even 3x my livelihood and my overall income. I also want to talk about the future of the Rob Built channel, my foray into self-employment, and how my tax situation is going to be affected by this decision, which actually brings me to today's sponsor, Block Advisors, but just a hair more on them a little later. Let's get into this thing. I will do my best not to cry by the end of the video, but no promises. After many months of consulting and talking with subscribers and meeting with a bunch of y'all, it generally seems to come as a surprise that I, Rob, have a job. Rob have a job. Hashtag Rob have a job. Now, to be fair, I don't really talk about this a lot on the channel, but yes, I have a full-time 40-hour-a-week job as an advertising copywriter. I've been writing ads for just under a decade now, and it's always been my dream to be a rock star award-winning copywriter with Super Bowl commercials and all that jazz. And to be honest, I'm pretty good at it, but to be brutally honest, I'm not great at it, and I never will be great at it. And that's okay. I've realized that now. I'm fine with that. I'm actually really, really happy that I'm not great at being an advertising copywriter because it's really exposed the things that I am great at or the things that I can be great at. But at the end of the day, I'm working about 100 hours a week. And I get so wrapped up here in my office and I walk outside and sometimes I realize that my daughter's already in bed or that it's bedtime and that I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her. And that hurts. And I just had a breaking point because I realized that by sacrificing comfort and stability, it would light a fire under my ass to sprint as fast as I can to my end goal and run full force into the ventures that I'm truly passionate about. And now it's time for the video where we get into the nitty-gritty of the money stuff and how much money that I'm walking away from. And yeah, it's always a little weird to talk about personal finances just because I have friends and coworkers and family members that watch this, but I try to be as transparent as possible. So because I'm gonna be talking about my personal finances, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, consider hitting the like button or leaving me a comment. Hitting the subscribe button, it helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and that's more important to me than ever as I venture off and become a full-time YouTuber. So you can directly help me with something as small as just clicking this little guy right here and this little guy right here and this little guy right here. Yes. Oh, dinner? Wow. This is General Tao's chicken. So at the moment, well, as of 8 hours ago, my salary was $110,000 with full benefits and full healthcare coverage, which was really clutch for a very long time, especially considering that I'm gonna have a baby in June. My wife's salary was $75,000 and she resigned her job when we moved here to Tennessee. So some quick math here, 110 plus 75, about $185,000 of W-2 taxed income is what we're leaving behind on the table. That's a really big number because I worked so hard to get to that number for such a long time. For so many years, my wife and I have put in so many hours to create a livelihood that finally made us comfortable and finally made us feel like we were attacking student loans and things like that. To leave that behind, honestly, it's still something that, sorry, I had to burp. I wasn't getting emotional. Oh God. General Tso's chicken. Tso's chicken? leave me a comment down below, let me know. What's really gonna change for us, I think, is having to put taxes aside, trying to set aside money diligently so that we can pay taxes because we no longer have an employer to pay those taxes on our behalf, which is why when Block Advisors reached out at an eerily convenient time in my life for this video, I pretty much cried a happy tear because I really don't want to have to deal with this stuff, man. I don't want to have to deal with like having to track every single receipt and expense and justify expenses. Working with them has actually been very, very easy. Staying socially distant and meeting virtually is an option too. Hey, so from a write-off perspective, go. No, you go. I'll go. Okay, so I can write off what? Sorry, go. No, I'll go. And honestly, the big game changer here is that I don't have to rely on my own research anymore for like tax write-offs or exemptions or anything like that. Now, sweetheart, you can't just write off $17,000 worth of burritos on your taxes. Oh, come on, surely there's gotta be a way that I can write off some of it. Well, honey, was it business or personal? Personal. Then no. No, but seriously, they're awesome. They've been super easy to work with and they save me a lot of money on my taxes, which, you know, yeah, I need that more than ever. So if you're looking for tax help with Block Advisors, I'll leave a link in the description down in the below for you to learn more. So what does quitting mean for me and how am I gonna make money? As many of you guys know, I started a consultation business about 4 or 5 months ago, basically where we kind of sit down, do a one-on-one Zoom, and I teach people how to build tiny houses, how to build tiny houses in LA, how to start glam site operations, how to start an Airbnb business, and everything in between. And when I started this, it really was meant to be just kind of side money to buy gear or buy things that I wanted, things that I would never spend like personal money on, right? Like house money, if you will. And what started at 1 to 2 consultations a week turned into 2 to 3, and then 4 to 5. And fast forward to now, and I'm doing 40 to 50 consultations every single month, and I book out a month in advance. As you can see, this side hustle quickly started to transform into something a little bit more of a full-time gig. And next thing you know, I am now able to replace my $110,000 salary to a yearly salary that is now roughly $144,000, all made up of my consulting clients. Which is huge because that means that my subscribers believe enough in me and what I have to say and what I have to teach to book me for a consultation. And honestly, it's so humbling, and the people that I get to meet and the people that I get to kind of chat through their problems with and help them start their own businesses, like that is what I feel like I'm meant to do. I'm hoping that maybe I can even step up my monthly consultations to be anywhere from 50 to 75 a month. But for now, I'm going to factor in around $12,000 worth of consultations consistently every single month. Next up is gonna be YouTube with about 70,000 subscribers at the moment and 250,000 views roughly every single month. Sometimes it's 225, sometimes it's 300,000, but we'll average it out at about 250,000 views per month. I make between $3,000 to $4,000 a month in YouTube ad revenue. Now that's with me uploading about 4 times a month, which I don't do consistently. It's always on a Tuesday one week, a Friday next week, a Thursday the next week. But I'm actually looking to ramp up my library and post about 6 to 8 videos a month. Which I'm a little nervous to do because I don't want to burn y'all out or anything like that. So let me know. Would you watch more of my content? Like, I know that that sounds like an obvious answer, but maybe you're happy with a frequency of 1 time per week. If I could release 2 videos a week, would you watch it? And if so, give me some topic ideas because I'm always like scrambling to figure out what to talk about every single week. So if you got ideas, leave them in the comments down below. Now, if I can actually do 6 to 8 videos a month, not only will I be getting more views and more clicks and more ads and all that kind of jazz, but I'm also gonna be growing my subscriber base. And the more subscribers I have that watch my content, the more ability there is for my videos to take off or go viral or semi-viral, meaning the more money I can make. So I think if I really heavy up and focus on being a full-time YouTuber, this year, in 2021, I can consistently make between $5,000 and $6,000 in YouTube ad revenue. And that's not even counting sponsorships. I'm not gonna add that into this calculation because I don't really know how much I'm gonna make on sponsors because it depends on who reaches out and all that stuff. But we'll say that it'll either be equal to what I make in ad revenue or maybe a little bit more, somewhere in that region. And on the topic, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell because it does help me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks, okay, bye. Next form of income is going to be building more tiny houses, not just for myself, but for investors. I'm actually working with a couple investors right now that are basically going to be paying me a 25% fee to do my thing, to go out and build Casa Conejos and Casa Mariposas. If you recall, on Casa Mariposa, I made a 100% ROI profit on that house, meaning an investor can come in and pay me 25%. and still make a 75% ROI if we were to replicate that exact model. Now, it's not always gonna be that good, it's not always gonna be 100%, but as you can see, there's a lot of wiggle room there. So at the moment, I am working on a specific deal out of all the ones that are going on right now, where someone is paying me about $62,000 to build them a house that will hopefully get them an ROI of 40 to 80%. Now, I have a couple of these in the works, but I estimate, conservatively speaking, that if I do a few of these this year, I will make around $150,000 building commissions, if you will, which is like so weird, but building houses that I envision for other people for the purposes of them Airbnb-ing or for them to sell and make a crazy ROI profit. So not really a business model that I saw happening for myself, but I'm honored that people hire me to do this kind of stuff. So roughly speaking, we'll say that will bring in about $12,500 every single month, but about $150,000 over the course of the next 12 months. Now, I'm not gonna breeze through this and not talk about my short-term rental portfolio. You know, with all of my short-term rentals and my vacation rentals and everything like that, I've never really paid myself. I've always used the profits from my short-term rental portfolio to kind of expand my operations and acquire more. But technically that is money that I make and that is part of my livelihood. So if we're talking from a profit standpoint, at the moment, I profit about $13,000 on the short-term rentals in my portfolio every single month. Profit, right? After all my bills, $13,000. And that's specifically on properties that I own personally myself. Now, if we start talking about things that I co-own with other partners and everything like that, it kind of culminates to be more than that $13,000, but I definitely don't pay myself from any of that. So I really don't count that as my income. But one day, whether it's 3 years from now, 5 years from now, or 6 years from now, it's a very specific interval jump, 10 years from now, that stuff will pay out. As I find those numbers out and as I start paying myself back, I'll let you know. But for right now, we're gonna put a line item for $13,000 from Airbnb income that I can use as part of my livelihood to support me and my family. And of course, I've got the tiny house village that I'm currently working on. I'm working on getting it permitted. I'm working with the civil engineer and the city and the planning and the zoning commission and all those people to make it happen, because it's so hard to do that project because tiny homes are tiny and the city people are old and don't understand the concept of tiny homes, but I'm working on that. And I hope in the next 4 to 6 months, I can really kick that project off. And I also have my Airstream, if you guys remember that series, which absolutely tanked, that is also on my land. So between my Airstream and my 4 A-frames, I predict that I will be making between $10,000 and $12,000 of profit every single month. Next revenue stream, which I have lost count at this point, is going to be my glamping and my fundamentals of Airbnb programs, where basically I'll be releasing a 6 to 10 hour program that give you all the ins and outs of glamping or how to start an Airbnb business. I can't really put a number to this one yet, but based on the response that I'm getting and the amount of people that are asking about it and checking in with me and have kind of committed to doing this could be in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $10,000 a month, just on the coursework and the coaching that kind of comes along with it. So again, I'm really unclear on this, but based on a lot of people that I've talked to in the industry and that have done programs and have kind of released similar things, I think that's realistic and I think that's where I'm setting my goal, but I won't really know. Again, this is one of those things that, you know, I like to talk about money on my channel because I like to show you how I'm making it so that maybe it pushes you to kind of try something new and try it for yourself. So as I find out about the numbers on the coursework stuff or on the tiny home village stuff, I will report that back to you because I try to be honest about this kind of stuff. It sucks to figure this stuff out alone and figure out how profitable something is or how lucrative an industry can be, because a lot of people just don't talk about this stuff. So I'll keep you updated is basically what I'm saying. But actually, while we're on the subject, sign up for my programs down below. I'll leave the email in the description down below if you're interested in taking those and supporting the Raw Build channel. And there's one final thing that's kind of a new development, but I officially closed on Casa Mariposa with my partner and we made a $350,000 profit. Oh, good sir. Oh, that's $350,000, sir. I'm C3PO. Rate that impression 1 to 10 down below. So we got about a $350,000 profit, of which we're gonna do mostly a 1031 exchange, meaning we can roll that profit into other real estate investments without paying taxes on that profit. Now there's a lot that goes into the 1031. Eventually that tax bill will be due. You're basically deferring it, but we're gonna use our $350,000 profit to get us into 3 to 5 properties on the East Coast, actually, changing it up. Gonna be in the Shenandoah area, the Poconos area, somewhere over there. We're not really super decided yet, although we do have to make a decision here very quick. But if we roll that into 3 to 5 properties every single month, we are estimating that we can make between a $10,000 and $15,000 profit on those 3 to 5 units. So going on the low side of that, I'll say that will be about another $5,000 onto my monthly revenue. This one is still developing, so as I start landing on those properties, obviously I'm gonna talk about it on the channel because I need the content. So as you can see, I've created all of these income streams, but I've had zero time to actually water the seeds of these income streams. Like I've planted them, I've kind of, put a little soil on them, and that's pretty much the worst metaphor I've ever done. Basically, I've spent a lot of time cultivating these income streams, but I haven't been able to get them to their full potential because I am so busy with everything that I do. And a big part of that is working a 40-hour week at work. And if I had those 40 hours to really focus on my short-term rental operations and my glamping programs and my new constructions and my flips and everything like that, then when you add it all up together, it comes out to, on the low end, $55,500 a month, all the way up to $70,500 a month. So that can be, on a yearly basis, ooh, that's not good, $666,000. Let's just say $665,000. And on the high end, in the mid 800,000 range. And there's a really, really big but to this. And that but is that I have to work my ass off to make that happen. But when it does happen, and I am making some amount of money in that range, good Lord, I'm gonna owe so much money on taxes, and thank goodness for block advisors. No, but really, I understand that I'm throwing out some pretty big numbers here, and it sounds pretty ridiculous to say that I'm gonna go from making $185 previously, all the way up to $665 to $850,000. Like, that sounds so crazy, but I'm not just saying that. Everything that I've talked about is in the process of happening right now, and the only thing getting in the way of it is time, and not having the time to focus on these income streams. So that's what brings me to this video and to today, and to announce that I'm giving up a career so that I can do more. But getting 40 hours back in my week will be such a game changer, both for my mental health, for the sake of my family and being able to see my sweet daughter more every single day, and my incredibly supportive wife. And I'll be able to focus more on the things that I love. And I promise to absolutely keep you filled in. I plan on being as transparent about this as possible. I promise you I don't say any of this to brag, but I hope that maybe in some way it's like an inspiration. If you're ever thinking about quitting your job or pursuing your dream, like, it's so possible, because I did, because I'm doing it now, and I'm so grateful that I can do it. So strap in, everybody, because 2021 is about to get wild, and it's gonna be such a great year for the Rob Built channel. Y'all changed my life, and I'm so thankful. And honestly, I'm just so happy to be here. So with that, I think that's today's video. I don't know how long this is gonna be. And if you stayed until the very end, let me know in the comments down below if you're a super fan, because I appreciate you. Dan, Mary, Juan, David, Janet, all of y'all are the best. And with that, thanks again to Block Advisors for sponsoring this video. It means the world to me that you support the Rob Built YouTube channel, and I hope I made you proud, Mom and Dad. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Rob Built. And yeah, in the meantime, just click on one of these guys right here and hit the subscribe button right here. Honestly, this video, game changer. Watch it, it's really good. All right, see you guys.